Alright, welcome to another video? I don't know, week continuation of Ether Raids. We have a match here and we're gonna dive right into it. You're gonna see it in the background while I talk about some stuff. I finally got Gale Force on Demetra. I think this is the one where I swapped it up. I don't remember, but I did swap it up. Oh yes, I think this is the one, but I don't get it to trigger because I forgot to give him Quick Impulse. I'm playing around with the Fire Sweep in his beast skill still, but I think he probably would prefer to have the Tempo Echo, which he does have equipped, or not equipped but available as a skill to be equipped. I just haven't done that with this particular build. I think he actually needs it though for situations to get past guard. I don't know, I'm 50-50 on it. Well, I'll play it out for the rest of the week, see if it really matters or not. But he kind of one-shots a lot of things. Well, the things that he will attack into that aren't armors, he will typically one-shot them. So that's kind of problematic because it means that he won't get the Gale Force off. So yeah, I'm still playing around with it to see how that interacts with everything. But for now, this is the build that I'm running with for a little bit, just to see where we end up. That aside, finally, we have some stuff to talk about. This is post-recording because I didn't have anything to talk about, so now we do. It is Sunday, and we've just gotten, a couple hours after the trailer has come out, actually. Finally got around to recording. I watched it. My God Almighty, did that Corrin have a lot of words, a lot of words on her special. That was basically a paragraph, man. Like, you could fit that into an essay. That's at least what, looking at it, it's like 50 words. At least 50 to 100 words for a weapon description or a special description. That's quite a bit for a game. That is a lot for a game. Like, looking at something like FIFA, like regular Fire Emblem, you just get like 2 lines and that's the description. And we're looking at a special with 50 to 100 words. My God.
Do what you please.
I don't know what they're gonna do in terms of what the solution for this is, because a glossary seems kind of pointless. This is the one-hit problem with Dimitri there. A glossary doesn't seem like the solution in the sense that it's going to be a massive glossary and no one's going to ever go there. No one is going to ever go there. So I don't know. Like, personally, if you quick linked something for me to click on and then to load something else to go and understand it, I'm never going to click on it. And then also, because of how fast-paced game modes like Summer Duels are, where sometimes you just need to quick glance over skills to read and understand, or just to remind yourself of what's going on, a glossary to have that load and boot you out of the match or load into different towers. How would the tab even work with Fire Emblem? I don't know. It's a lot of things to consider there. So I don't think that's something that would actually work for Faye. At least in its current state. So yeah, I don't know how that would work. Definitely we're gonna have to look at some reduction or taking out some of the key phrases and just try to make things more condensed, because that was a lot to read and I didn't particularly understand all of it after reading it. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Let's go back a bit. Did I discuss the new game mode? I don't remember if I did. I think I did, but I had a few more thoughts on it. After watching the new game mode come out, one of my initial thoughts was they're definitely going to try to monetize this in some capacity. Or not monetize, transition this into Fire Emblem in some capacity. Because the character designs look very Fire Emblem-esque, as they should. And I could see a transition between the two game modes. I just didn't know when I was thinking like this would be like at least a year or so from now.
I won't lose.
Or at least after the new game comes out, because there's going to be a new game for, I forget, this year, next year, somewhere soon. I was thinking they would introduce these new characters from Shadows further along down the line. made sense, but lo and behold, we got Lynn out of nowhere, and she's some type of mixture between a mythic and a cav and a beast unit, and I'm just like, what is this? What type of new unit archetype is this? Is she a mythic? Is she a beast unit? What exactly is going on here? And she apparently has 2 range. She still has her bow. She can still fire the arrows. I like a lot of it in terms of the weapon design, but I'm not weapon design or how she works movement wise. But I don't think I'm a big fan of how she looks. The horse, I think was Uma Musume or something like that. I don't think I'm a big fan of that. But let's play another match here. Okay, here we go into the second match. I'll continue from where I left off just now. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the, I think it's called Uma Musume. Not a big fan of that. Horse girl. Very weird. Yeah, I see you guys. You guys are weird. You're weird, into weird things. I don't know what that's about. That's very peculiar. Not a fan of it. But I do like how her weapon stuff works. It allows her to still use the bow. It makes sense, but it's an interesting mix between nimble beast and a bow, because you're thinking bow, Deadeye, or what's the other one? Curve shot. That's what you're thinking because it's a bow. But no, it's nimble beast, and you're like, but she has a bow. How does this make sense? But I like that interaction between the two, and I think it's going to be something probably more unique to Lynn. I don't think it will translate to Dimitri, or because I've never canonically seen Dimitri use a bow, so I don't know how that would work. I guess they could still do it if they wanted to, because I mean, Lilith has a sword that attacks from 3 spaces away, so there's really nothing stopping them. But I do like Lynn, her design, her weapon design specifically in that scenario. I like how that mixture works. I like the fact that she's a beast unit with range. I don't think we have... Do we? I don't think we have a beast unit that's 2 range.
I request a match.
Or that uses a bow. I don't think that's something that we have. So it's a very interesting unit archetype. And it introduces new mixtures or new possibilities into the game. And I like that. In terms of design space, I think that's very good. But on the flip side, it's also kind of bad because it like for game modes like Chaos Season, which is already down in the dumps because you just can't really stop anyone from winning. You know, when Chaos Season just came out, there were ways to like kind of defend against stuff and you know try to get a positive season. But that is no longer the case. There is literally no way to stop someone from winning. All you need to do, stick low-key there, you win, or ignore the save with these 2 range, 2 space attackers. I love the fact that she allows, well, it's not even, she can't use it with mages, it's only melee, so it doesn't really change the problem for units like Athos or, you know, range units of that nature. Another quick match here. Let's load in another one. Alright, so I'm gonna keep going. Still got more to say. So yeah, I like a lot of the stuff that he introduces into the game. Don't know where it's going to lead us in the future, because I do think it's more... I mean, it has potential to be positive instead of negative, but I can see a lot of downsides to it with the way that it will change a lot of the core mechanics in the game and the way how things work. I don't know if we have the space to facilitate all of that and still have a functional game in terms of just what could potentially happen and some type of, you know, game-breaking scenarios that could potentially happen. Everything basically will change on defense pretty much, and how your team is able to defend. Well, she's a light mythic. Is it possible that... I think it's possible that people might use her on defense just because of how... Well, also then, I guess it depends on how good she is as a combat unit, not a mythic, as a combat unit. It probably depends on how good she is. So, if she fails to meet like the threshold of power, then maybe, you know, we don't even have to worry about it. But then there might be another unit further on down the line that will, you know, pose that particular problem. But then also, September.
Leave it to me.
Were we scheduled to get another light mythic? Weren't we? Wasn't it the next one? What, like November, October, somewhere around there? Feels kind of early. And then what does that mean for the current book that we're in? What does it mean for the mythics that are going to be coming out for the current book that we're in? Is it that they're going to be pushed back, or are they going to be Are they going to have this new design, attack style incorporated into their release? Are they going to be shadow units, or is this just for the units from the new game? A lot of questions to be raised, and also my concerns of, is this going to end up being another Tokyo Mirage session where we get Lynn and we never get anyone else?
What do we do?
Which, I mean, they've kind of safeguarded themselves against that, because this does appear to be a Fire Emblem owned intellectual property. So
Let's begin.
there probably won't be a lot of difficulty for them to get the units and use them in the game, you know, in the future, which I think is probably the current issue with Tokyo Mirage sessions. I think they probably don't have the ability to pull that from the creator, the characters themselves. So I don't know. I'm talking out of my butt here. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't know, man. There's so many questions so quickly. Release schedule, was this banner supposed to come out before the game was released? The new game was released? Did they? Because it seems like the trailer and everything is all prepared, and it feels like this should have been like an after thing and not a before. Or maybe at least at the same time. Drop them at the same time. It feels like it feels like this banner was made before the game was. I don't know. So many questions, and I don't. Well, we'll probably get the answers in days to come. But it just feels so soon, you know. It feels very, very soon, and so many things are going to change because of this.
I understand.
Well, is it really going to change anything? I mean, we already have units that attack from 2 spaces away. It's, but it's a style effect.
Leave it to me.
And she's melee. I am perplexed. But I do know that I like the fact that we have beast units now that are able to have 2 space range. I like that. And I like that they're giving us more variety in terms of I think that was probably something that they were struggling with for some time, like how do they make range units more versatile and not just have armored beast units and infantry melee beast units. And I guess, is there any calves? Are there any cav beast units? I don't remember, can't recall. Oh yes, we have cav. I guess they've been wanting to increase the variety in that unit archetype for some time now, and I feel like this Lin is a way for them to solve that particular problem, or their attempt at solving that particular problem. So I think it's good and it's positive in terms of, you know, moving forward. Is this something that could potentially be on the refine of beast units in the future? Like this would have been perfect for Fallen Edelgard, like being able to have the, well, I guess she did already have the distant counter. But, you know, if she could attack from 2 spaces away, that would be also good for her as well. Having this on, like, Valentine's Edelgard or something, the emblem ring, on Valentine's, well, not the emblem ring, the Lin effects on Valentine's Edelgard, also very, very good. So, it changes the, who was saying something about the ice terrain, and how this kind of makes the ice terrain less valuable because you can just attack over the ice. And then the implication of this on someone like Camilla, what does it mean there? Because Camilla now has 2 range. And then we also have Corrin, who I haven't said anything about Corrin yet, aside from the fact that there's a lot of reading there. I do like her B skill. I probably should start there. Her B skill looks fantastic for armored units, because it increases the speed threshold for them to continue to win speed checks, because that was a big part of them having longevity. Losing speed checks was like a huge problem for speedy saves. The second issue was they fall off very quickly in terms of damage output. So if they're able to solve that second issue, then speed saves could potentially make a comeback to some extent. Hopefully they do that, because I have a couple of ranged war saves that are just completely useless. So hopefully they're looking to resolve that as we continue forward in the game. But I really do like that B skill. I don't know if it's like better than Shield Fighter, because Shield Fighter is still very good in terms of like damage reduction. But if you're only taking one hit, and if you can get flat damage reduction from other sources, then you could be cooking. You know, this could be good. This could be a really good skill. It's very. This is what Brave Corrin should have gotten for her refine and remix. And I wonder if this particular B skill helps her out. Well, I mean, there weren't really any good Dragon B skills, Dragon Armor B skills to begin with. So this is definitely better than whatever is available currently for Brave Corrin. And I don't know how much better it makes her though. So that's to be seen. Someone will do it, and we'll get the data, and we'll see what's going on there. But I like this unit. I like this Corrin. I like this emblem unit. She looks very strong. It's going to be interesting to see how the terrain really works. Tuesday, no orbs. I'm still pulling on. I'm trying to get. I'm 20 out of 20. No, I'm 25 out of 40. 25 out of 40 now. So closer to the spark. Hopefully I can get that wrapped up before the next banner comes out. I don't know what will happen there, but and even if I do, I probably won't even have any orbs to summon. But yeah, a lot of good things to play around with. A lot of changes that are going to be implemented into the game very quickly in a short space of time. And it's going to be, well, we got SDR next end of the month. Yeah, we got probably SDS, I think. We're probably going to get another SDS, I think. And that should be fun as well, because there are going to be so many new tools to play with. This is I want to say Power Spike, but it really depends on how strong the Corrin is. Lyn herself, in terms of like, I was looking at the weapon, and it didn't look too crazy in terms of damage. So there's, I mean, that lessens the possibility of her being on defense, I guess. At least for, you know, people doing the thing with Freyr. They're probably not going to do that with Lyn. But I mean, at least Chaos Season, I can see her being there for Chaos Season. We still have good enough option. I think Corrin is going to be like probably the primary far save now. I think, is she better than Black Knight? That's a good question. I mean, if you can outsource the reflex, then like if you have her paired with Ash, for instance, that's a good unit right there. You're gonna have some problems taking out that Corrin, because one, it's gonna be difficult to double her, and she's always gonna be doubling you. So yeah, that's something to be considered. I think Reflex is still really, really good in this current meta, but Corrin looks particularly strong. You're probably gonna swap out that magic save skill, because what is that really? For just regular save, or maybe she'd be even better as a near save. Who knows? But I gotta go reread that, because there's so many words, and I'm sure there's something that I missed there that, you know, explains a little bit more about how she works as a unit. But I'm excited. Lots to look forward to. Hopefully you are all excited as well. GG's.